W.I.G TV.
A possible feud, connections to big names like Snoop Dogg, and now one man who claims he's been wrongfully convicted. It's all part of a criminal case that just took a turn.
Only the 8 News Now investigators have been following the battle brewing in court. Vanessa Murphy has been speaking with the man at the center of it all.
Denise and Brian, rapper Mac Minister insists he's an innocent man. He's been telling me this during phone calls from prison, and he's alleging this in court. But prosecutors argue there are too many connections between Mac Minister and 3 people who wound up dead. Andre Dow, also known as Mac Minister, was an up-and-coming West Coast rapper in the early 2000s, but that came to a halt.
They gave me 4 lives without the possibility of parole.
Dow was convicted in 2008 for a double murder in Las Vegas in 2005. The victims, Kansas City rappers Anthony Watkins, known as Fat Tone, and Jermaine Atkins, known as Cowboy.
Damn, that was all the way back in 2005? God.
No, who killed Fat Tone?
How did they end up murdered in your girlfriend's car?
I don't have no answer for that.
I just want to make a record. He testified against my client in trial. I know.
As attorney Robert DeMarco argues for Dow's freedom, the 8 News Now investigators have been following closely. One major development, this witness who testified against Dow now says he lied.
It's been under conscience and you deeply regret making the false testimony and statements against Mr. Dow, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Lateef Gray, please.
A former San Francisco prosecutor who knew Dow growing up heard him proclaiming his innocence on a podcast and decided to look into the case. Do you believe he's 100% innocent?
I do. Based on this evidence, I do.
Lateef Gray says he uncovered information about witness Antoine Mouton, a convicted pimp with a lengthy criminal history. Records show when he claims he was in Las Vegas and Dow made incriminating statements to him, he was actually in custody in Georgia.
And that's crazy. How could they miss something so big like that in a case that was as big as it was? Cold. It's crazy. You know, when they want to overlook it, they're going to overlook it.
Do you believe that the police and the prosecutors had all of this information and hid it? Or what are you saying?
They definitely have.
Sometime prior to that December 5th.
Clark County Chief Deputy District Attorney Mark DiGiacomo mentioned a date during Dow's murder trial in reference to that supposed conversation between Dow and Mouton in Las Vegas. But again, Mouton was locked up in Georgia. DiGiacomo now on the stand himself admitting to what he calls a mistake.
You said December 5th in the deposition, correct?
And I should have said December 05.
Still, he continues to defend the murder conviction.
I have the phone records and the 911 calls establishing the timeline.
In 2004, Bay Area rapper Mac Dre was killed in Kansas City. There were rumors, which police said were false, that Fat Tone did it. Dow claims he didn't think so. In 2005, he invited Fat Tone to Las Vegas to meet Snoop Dogg. Dow is seen leaving a casino with Fat Tone and Cowboy. He claims they went their separate ways.
I don't know where they went, but he says he has some business to handle.
The bodies of Fat Tone and Cowboy found near a construction site. A car, which prosecutors argue was connected to the scene, found torched in California 2 days later.
Cold part about it is, right, the lawyers say, oh yeah, he just now want to admit that it was a mistake, right? When did you realize you made a mistake? When bro started reaching out to people, doing his podcast, doing his interviews, this, that, and the third? Or when did you figure out that you made a mistake? Because you probably would have never said nothing. Crazy.
Police also pointed to Dow's link to his co-defendant Jason Mathis and a woman who was found murdered in California later that year before Dow was in custody.
You cannot point to any specific evidence that points to Mr. Dow committing the murder of Miss Larson in California, correct?
Well, I think that if I were to try him in this courtroom, I'd convict him every day of the week.
Dow was on America's Most Wanted and then arrested.
If he didn't pull the trigger, he's just as guilty as the person that did pull the trigger.
Lamont Williams, also known as Marlo Boss, is Fat Tone's cousin.
He's most definitely behind it. So, yes, most definitely. I said it 1,000 times. I said it in his face 1,000 times.
After hearing from both sides,
This is totally a travesty of justice.
a judge will decide whether Dow deserves freedom.
My name ain't Mac Minister, it's Mac Minister.
Prosecutors argue key witness Antoine Mouton may have felt pressured to recount his story, but Mouton and his father, who also testified, claim he just wanted to do the right thing. That decision from the judge could come any day now.
Yeah, man, so they saying McMinister is, I don't know if he already home or if he, you know, what it's looking like, but they say he is looking good, matter of fact. If y'all remember when we first was reacting to the McMinister videos, this, that, and the third, and we was getting privy to, like, what was going on with the case, it was shocking, I ain't gonna lie, man, to find out that they did a nigga like that. But at the same time, right, it wasn't shocking, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they do it every day. They doing niggas bad, you feel me? So, you know, it's good that he getting a chance to get his case heard, and I think it's overturned, man. I seen reports that he was out and shit like that, so, man, it's a good look, man. You see Fat Tone peoples, man, rest in peace to Fat Tone, you feel me? Condolences to his peoples and Cowboy as well. You see, nigga, Fat Tone peoples, you feel me? He don't want to see a nigga get out. And you feel me? I don't know what his background is or what type of lifestyle he come from, but shit, you know, them people don't got nobody's best interests at heart. You feel me? Now I ain't gonna lie to you, but shit. Yeah, man, McMinister coming home, it's a trip, right? Cause I ain't gonna lie, right? If you go look back at some of the videos he was doing, right, when he was proclaiming his innocence and this, that, and the third, and then he was, you know, speaking up for himself, that nigga had faith. You understand me? That man was standing on faith.
Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Ay, I need that cheese like a grater, ho. Don't play me like no sin, cause I never Captain Saber, ho.
Fake ass motherfuckers be showing all that fake ass love. Keep that shit away from me. Keep that fake ass shit away from me, nigga. Before I explode on one of you bitch ass niggas, nigga.
Yeah, but you can fucking be my waiter, ho. Long as you get paper, ho. Cause shit, that's what paper's for.